return of their quarterback, Sam Leavitt, on their road game at Oklahoma State. Charlie Ragle joins us, part of the Crest Insurance Group report that we do each and every week here on Rock Minutes with Jimmy B. How you doing, Coach? What's going on? Have a good week off?
I am doing well, and excellent afternoon to you, gentlemen. Thanks for having me, as always.
We appreciate it. So anything you have to do differently on the way you guys dealt with the time zone and travel going to Oklahoma State as you did with Cincinnati, or is business as usual?
Yeah, not as much, right? 2-hour time change, right, instead of 3. And then the game is obviously later in the day. So I think, with those two factors, it's been pretty much business as usual this week.
And in reference to the bye week, the second one of the year, Charlie, anything different from this bye week as opposed to the last one? Getting ready to go to Stillwater.
I think it's really just trying to, we're in the latter part of the season, right? Back basically almost back 25%, what have you. It's really about now us being as healthy as we can be going into this final stretch run of 5 weeks. We played 4, had a bye, played 3, had a bye. And so now we're on the first, embark on the first game of a 5-game stretch with no bye, obviously. So it's about us, practicing smart, being efficient, and, again, being as healthy as we can going into these next 5 weeks, starting with Oklahoma State.
Speaking of health, what can you tell us about your quarterback?
He's had a good week. Obviously, Kenny announced that he's starting, and I think, the biggest thing is just getting out there and throwing after a couple weeks off of healing up. And but he's looked good, and I'm excited. I just saw him down in the equipment room, and asked him how he felt, and he said he felt good. And I said, "You feel good, I feel great." So
Did you have Cam Scattaboo in ice, like for a week and a half? Coaches soak him in ice so he heals up?
That's it. Hey, whatever it takes. Ice, jelly, whatever we need, Jell-O, whatever we need, man. As long as they're ready to go on Saturday.
That's a little more information than I needed to hear about Jell-O.
Well, Jimmy, I thought that's what they brought you in for, man.
It is, Charlie. That's exactly right, which is why I'm coming with the next question right now.
Oh, I do.
All right, brother.
All
right, here we go. So I know that you have studied the film on Oklahoma State without giving away the game plan here on the show. What do you think will work best for ASU against Oklahoma State? I've been to that stadium several times. The fans are rabid. It'll be packed. It's an evening game, tough place to play. How does your game plan work for a victory?
Yeah, great question, and I think you're spot on with that. It's a tough place to play. The fans are up on you. It's close proximity. They have a great fan base, a lot of tradition. They're well coached, and so I think, though, all of that being said, right, none of that really matters because we can't control any of that. And for us, it's about being as efficient as possible. And again, I think that, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I think the games that we have been, successful in, we have been able to establish the run game. That's no secret. And, I think that's where it's going to start for us. And then, I think, again, we've got to go out and convert on special teams, especially situations where we kick field goals. Everybody knows that. And then we have to get off the field on third downs. I think those are the 3 keys for us to victory on Saturday afternoon, evening.
Charlie, I thought you guys turned the corner as far as complete game plan on the road, as far as physicality was concerned. I mean, that Cincinnati team has a big group of kids on both sides of the ball. How much confidence I give both your offensive and defensive lines so they can compete with the biggest and the best of the Big 12?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think, one thing we look at, and we still, as we go on and we play in the Big 12, is you do probably see a little bit more length in the trenches, right? And that's something obviously we're aware of. And, you always want to get, you want to be athletic first and foremost, and then obviously, add some length to that. But I think our guys know that they can compete on both sides of the football in the trenches with anybody. And that was probably certainly a well-needed boost of confidence. And, we started well. As you mentioned last week, against Cincinnati, and that is what we anticipate doing this week against Oklahoma State.
Charlie, how do you maintain chemistry, some physicality with the week off to keep that chemistry or that I should say that continuity throughout a week when you have a week off? I mean, not have to worry about how are we playing the first quarter? Do we have to knock the rust off? How do you balance that and try to keep guys healthy at the same time?
You know, and I mean, I absolutely mean this when I say it. I really think that Kenny has done a really good job of balancing the weeks off and how we practice, especially, you know, as the season wears on and into the second bye week. You know, that's not easy. And, you know, I think, I mean, these kids are young and they're spry, as we all know, but, you know, they're in there and they're battling and they're banging, and it's a physical game, as we're all well aware. So, you know, we had a nice mix of giving them a couple days off early after Cincinnati, coming back and doing some, you know, just assignment football, if you will. And then, you know, finishing on Thursday with, I don't want to say bang, but a little bit more physical practice and, you know, covering some Oklahoma State stuff, and then giving them a couple more days off. And so I think it is a delicate balance of, you know, where is that sweet spot that we stay crisp, but we also stay fresh. And I think, to be very candid with you, I think at the end of the day, this team has shown that we can be physical. I don't think that there's a problem with physicality with this football team, but I think the key is being healthy and fresh down the stretch. And those are the teams that win in November, in my opinion.
Charlie, you guys are a little more than halfway through the season. Has reality sunk in, not so much for your team, but for all of the coaches?
3 minutes.
That this isn't the Pac-12 anymore. This is now the Big 12. Have you guys really come to grips with, wow, we are in a different conference?
Yeah, I think there's no doubt about it. I think just getting on the road and traveling to the different venues and seeing the different fan bases, you know, and not, you know, for me, you know, outside of the year at Idaho State, you know, it's been about almost a 15-year run in the Pac-12, so it's a little bit weird, right, and not going to L.A. or up to Seattle, you know, and et cetera, et cetera. So it has sunk in, I think, when you travel, but, you know, I think every week, you know, probably off the cuff that we sit around and you'll talk about, hey, in the Pac-12 it was like this, but now it's like this. And so I think you're constantly, you know, going back and forth just because you know, a lot of us are so used to being in the Pac-12. And so it has sunk in, and I think there's pros and cons on both parts of each league. And but, you know, we are where we are, and we're enjoying, you know, this new conference, and
2 minutes.
things that have gone off to a good start so far.
And Charlie, last one for you. I mean, you guys had 2 weeks, 2 bye weeks. How much recruiting did you guys get done as opposed to having just 1 bye week? And was last Friday night, I heard Kenny and all you guys were, I don't know, making 3, 4, 5 stops on Friday Night Fever.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You know, obviously when you get the 2 weeks to have both buys in your schedule, the ability that it gives you to free up and recruit is certainly an added bonus, and getting out and, again, you know, seeing our commits for this class, but yet at the same time trying to go watch guys that we can, you know, add to the roster has definitely been beneficial for us, and it doesn't hurt to go out and flex with that 5-2 record right now as you're recruiting, because that's, you know, certainly a bonus.
Coach, go get them, buddy. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for the time as always.
I appreciate you guys as always, and speaking of flex, and don't let do too much of that, okay? You guys be good, and go Devils.
1 minute, 1 minute.
That's Charlie Ragle, brought to you by Crest Insurance, the Crest Insurance Group. They are a group that offers personal, business, specialty insurance solutions for clients across all markets. Check them out for yourself. Just go to crestins.com. That's the Crest Insurance Group. Appreciate them stepping up and being part of the Charlie Ragle Report. You can follow Charlie as well on Twitter at Ragle Charlie. So good stuff, as it's not easy to win in Stillwater.
No, it's not.
But
And he's
they
right.
may be getting him at a good time, though.
Yeah, and they I would think they'd win this game now. Leavitt's back. You know, Scadaboo's had a week off, and the timing of those 2 bye weeks to have your bell cow and Scadaboo just to be the guy, and then Leavitt, who takes care of the ball. I think that I like to see him throw a little bit more, take some of that onus off of him. But yeah, Stillwater, those stands are like right you might have
right on the field.
You might have 10 yards of sideline before the stands just pop up right there. So if you're going out of bounds, you better get down quick,
That's it.
or you're going into a wall.
Devils need to get back on track on the road. They've lost 5 of their last 7 road games, so it'd be nice to make a mark and go into Stillwater and take care of the Cowboys. Well, coming up, our underdog picks for the week, and we'll do that, and we'll talk about Thursday Night Football. It's next. It's Rockin' Minutia with Jimmy B from Twin Peaks Tempe.
Does your